Welcome back to the People's Card Shop. We have a Master Yi mirror match right now.
Nikki, don't do that. Oh, sorry for yelling. Sorry for yelling. So we're recording right now, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yep. So welcome into the People's Card Shop. It's round 3. The undefeateds right now. It's going to be a Master Yi mirror match right now. Both these Master Yis are going to start off on 2 different battlefields. Chava is going to start on Aspirant's Climb, making the win condition going to be 9 points. And Nikki is going to start off with Vile Maw's Lair. It's really interesting to see which battlefields they're picking for game 1. Because normally, like from what I've seen, is Master Yis normally start Aspirant's Climb, but Vile Maw's Lair is a much more like neutral like battlefield in the sense that it doesn't matter who goes first or second. Same thing with Aspirants, but it might be a tech against the meta right now. So both players are just shuffling up, getting ready. Just want to say thanks again for watching the People's Card Shop stream. We stream here every Monday, our Nexus nights.
We are on round 3 right now. Thank you for being patient and waiting with us. That last game went into super overtime, but we are finally here in the finals, having Yi versus Yi. Strange, we haven't seen a Yi all night, but here they are.
Yep.
Here they be.
Now the real question is, what kind of Yis are they playing? Is it going to be the more mid-rangey, or is it going to be the Dazzling Aurora version? Again, you can side into the Dazzling Aurora version, for different matchups. But let's see what both players are going to do.
Yeah, both Chava and Nikki are really good players. My preferred version of Yi is sometimes going first Aurora, and then you have the side deck package where you side into just
The mid-range type,
which
yeah.
I think is really cool. I'm unsure what both these players are playing. They both might be mid-range. The climb, both players start, or both players have to get to 8 in order to win.
9 to win. 9 to win.
9 to win. And Vile Maw's Lair is you cannot move out of it.
All right. 2 drop for Nikki coming out. Choosing not to recycle to draw a card. Let's see what Chava plays. Okay, so most likely Chava is probably playing the Dazzling Aurora version because he has the Catalyst start here. Getting the buff, going in, coming into the Aspirant's Climb, getting the point. Right now, both players are just trying to set up the late game because Master Yi is definitely a late game centered strategy. Yep. And it looks like here Chava is going to give up the early game to basically set up a Dazzling Aurora. It's coming in, conquering. So as it looks right now, Nikki seems to be playing more of a mid-range version, while Chava is setting up for the Dazzling Aurora. So Nikki's main priority here is trying to get both battlefields just conquered and trying to get as many points as possible.
We're going to really test out who's going to be going for the long haul here. Is it going to be the Dazzling Aurora version, or is it going to be the normal version? Also, he doesn't have to be Dazzling Aurora.
He might have just ramped and missed like a couple early drops, honestly. But we never know.
Because he is running the Tasteful. Is that in the Dazzling Aurora? Maybe not, but it could be.
It could be. It might just be like a value target just to summon off of it. and something you could summon early game. It doesn't have any power pip, so it's not going to ruin the ramp leading into Dazzling Aurora. So I can see it just being played as just like something to ease your way into the mid game.
The problem with that Dazzling Aurora deck is that you're just losing tempo in all these early turns, and if you don't ramp into the Dazzling Aurora, then you're just kind of sitting there staring at your opponent with a bunch of ramp cards in your hand. The real game begins if we hit that Aurora. But again, we still don't know if he's Aurora. He just might have missed his 2-drops, and he might just be mid-range still. We have the Kiana in the back. I like the players tonight. Constantly, you can tell that these players have been practicing a lot by keeping their follow-ups in the back, and just they're chill with losing the 2-drops in the early game in order to just be able to push in where they want to afterwards with their backup.
And here comes down to Sabotage. We're going to be able to see Nikki's hand. Let's see what it has. All right, it's going to be double Defy, double Discipline, on guard. Wow.
We really don't get to take anything away realistically because
they all essentially do the same thing.
I like ripping a deny because having 2 denies is a lot to play around, but also the 2 cards that recycle and draw cards, getting rid of one of those is nice as well.
Okay, getting rid of the Discipline here.
Yeah, I think getting rid of the Discipline is pretty cool.
All right, the Tasty Fae Folk coming into the Valmaz lair. Here, choosing not to use any of the pump spells, getting the point.
We just want to save our pump spells at this point for our Kiana that's in the back row.
Here comes a Dazzling Aurora. That was a great turn. Sabotage into Dazzling Aurora. Kind of see exactly what's going on. Maybe changes where he plays his own card.
A very important thing to remember as an Aurora player is you always want to do that as the very last thing so that your opponent can't respond to it. If you play it down, then like go into a combat, you give your opponent an ability.
Ooh, Deadbloom Predator is going to be able to challenge here. 8 into 2.
Deadbloom Predator allows you to play it straight into a battlefield if your opponent controls it.
Okay, on guard, making it go to 4. We'll make it go to 6, actually, because the Master Yi defense trigger here. It's going to be a trade, 8 to 8. But he's choosing to save it with the... Not choosing to save it, but he has to save it with the Zhonya's Hourglass.
We did waste both of Nikki's pump spells here. But he does get to hold on to that battlefield for another turn.
Yeah, Nikki needs to be able to hold on to as many points as possible because every turn the Dazzling Aurora is on field, it just becomes a more imposing board for Chava. Oh, and this is a great little addition here. The Flame Wing right here is able to pump the Kiana, and she's able to go in, conquer the Tasty Fae Folk. And then now, even though the Kiana might be, might die next turn, the White Flame Protector is able to kind of just like push away the Deadbloom Predator. Choosing to draw a card off the Kiana Conquer effect.
The White Flame Protector being such a good body in the back row and a good buff up front really lets you really see why this card is pretty expensive.
Yeah, super duper solid. It's basically 16 might, but divvied up.
But we're finally playing the game. We have the Aurora down. We had one turn of it. So now let's see what we can get out here. If we can get another big body and then another pump off of our Aurora to really stabilize the game. If we can't stabilize in the next turn, then the mid-range Master Yi is probably going to get this game. So it all depends on this turn and the next turn if we can really stabilize and turn it around. We're in a decent spot. Nikki's tapped out. 1 mana up. Enough for a Defy, which we know he has. really thinking about it because this turn is everything.
A lot of options here. We can't forget that he does have the Dazzling Aurora trigger, so another Deadloom Predator can come out. A lot of things can happen. Okay, he's able to take over the top battlefield.
It's always nice to be the defender in the Mastery's case because you get the +2 might when you are defending. So that Kiana on the bottom does get a pump in order to go up to 6. And then if he has any additional buffs in his hand, he can bring it up even further. This Kiana can trade with a Debloom if it's down, if he has the On Guard in his hand.
Ooh, and a second Dazzling Aurora.
Man, we needed to stabilize. We needed one more big creature, but we're going to get 2 every turn.
Now,
This
we
is
were
our
really
time.
looking for a Deadloom Predator here just to get a free point, honestly.
Yes.
And it's probably going to trade with the White Flame. And then the next summon, I don't really know what we would want. But let's let fate decide.
Ooh. It's okay. It's just an 8-drop.
Just an 8-drop here.
We don't get to utilize
But
its
we
buff.
really want to be able to contest the battlefield of the Kiana here.
We're banking
Looking for a
on
Deadloom.
Tasty
Ooh.
Fey Folk.
And that's the problem with the Tasty Fey Folk here. It is a good unit to play on your way to Dazzling Aurora, but off of Dazzling Aurora, sometimes it is not high impact enough.
It would have been better if he was able to play the Fey Folk first into the battlefield, and then he got the White Flame afterwards, because I would have preferred the White Flame to be in the back and the Fey Folk to be up with the other boys. He's trying to decide if he wants to go ahead and bunker down for that hold, because putting the Tasty Fey Folk in the back really doesn't do too much because it cannot contest the Kiana. It's the same with the Kiana because your Master Yi buffs it up +2, and then if he has any pump spells, he's going to be able to just beat over the Fey Folk. But you might have wanted that utility of the Fey Folk in the back in order to push in if you needed to. But Chava, based off of his hand, probably knew that he didn't have as many pump spells as he needed to in order to make that work and decided just to bunker down on the top battlefield. It's Nikki's turn. We have full mana. We are going to go to reinforce our Kiana. Play a Tasty Fey Folk there, and we're just going to say we have more points than you.
Yeah, we're
You
just trying to
can't
play
bunker
around
down on
Deadloom
us.
Predator, just trying to take over the board here, honestly. Ooh,
With,
plus a
hidden.
hidden.
It's probably a Zonia's Hourglass. That is the one hidden that these decks do play, so it's probably that. It's kind of funny where decks that don't play a lot of hiddens, there's no mystery in what it is.
Yeah, it's just that you know what it is 9 times out of 10.
Yeah. We got the 2 Dazzling Auroras down. Not even too late per se, but player 1 just tempoed out a little harder, and we really have to hit some good drops here in order to stabilize. Making all of our people go to the top battlefield was good because we get to hold it, but now we're in kind of a rough situation because it's hard for us to get to the other battlefield to contest. So we're going to play Master Yi. Master Yi does enter ready, so we might just be using him for trade fodder, and hopefully we can draw our Deadloom Predators off the top here. Player 1 has 2 mana. So we're going to send our Master Yi in just so we can trade with the White Flame Protector. This is why I kind of like keeping the Tasty Fey Folk back last turn. But if our opponent had a pump spell, it would have been really bad to lose both our big drops in the top.
Oh, choosing to kill the Tasty Fey folk.
And then hopefully we can get 2 Dead Bloom Predators because we're really good at the game. If that happens...
Oh, there's the
crazy.
dragon.
The dragon.
It's just a 10-mite dragon.
Put in his base. I like it.
And there's a Dead Bloom Predator.
Trade for the White Flame, Zhonya's Hourglass, and it's the Concede. We knew it was the Zhonya's, but there's really not much we can do there. As soon as we bunkered down on the top like that with no way to get to the bottom, Nikki just decided, you know what, if you want to do that, I'll do it too.
Yeah, I'll do it too, but I have the point lead, and it's the classic Riftbound, honestly.
I like in this game how it's like a special way to get that 8th point where you have to conquer both or hold.
Yeah, you actually have to checkmate your opponent. It's not necessarily getting over a finish line or anything like that. So that's really a part of the game I really enjoy.
In these Mastery Mirror matches, they were trying to do the same thing. They're trying to hold one battlefield and use that +2 defender ability in order to just out-tempo their opponent.
Mm-hmm.
So whoever has the most points in the mid-game, it's mainly going to rush to the late game. There's not much removal spells, just pumps and denies.
Yeah.
So whoever can find the win through combat.
Yeah, usually through the biggest units and things like that. And definitely in this matchup, cards like White Flame Protector are going to be really huge because you're going to be able to trade off your little units that would normally be able to fight off the other big units, but then still have a big unit in the base to kind of pressure the battlefield.
We'll have to ask Nikki later, but I wonder why he started with Vile Maw's Lair as his just blanket going first battlefield.
I think he probably just does that because it's like a generic going first, and then he has like a specific going second and a going first card, probably.
Both players are taking a second to decide. If I was Chava, maybe he definitely seems like he's running the variant where it goes between mid-range and Aurora because he was running the Tasty.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like into the Master Yi matchup, especially when you get to go first, you don't really have to side out that package because
it's just a solid card.
You get the Auroras down. In this matchup specifically, your opponent doesn't really have much to interact or deal with it. So I like keeping it in versus another Master Yi, especially if they are not.
Yeah, because 9 times out of 10, you're not pressured to use the Accelerate. You're just trying to. It's a battle of stats.
Okay, both players shuffling up. We're about to see our Game 2 battlefields. Game 1 went to player 2, Nikki.
All right, both players are deciding who gets to go. Well, not who gets to go first, but doing the final touches ups on their decks.
I think it's so funny in this game where you have to cut your opponent's rune deck.
Do you think Dazzling Aurora is going to be still part of Chava's strategy, or do you think he's going to side them out?
I think it will still be a part of his strategy because I think it's good versus mid-range G. So right now we have a Grove for our going first player. And then we also have Val's Model Lair again.
Yep. This time switching over, it's Chava's choice. But Chava definitely choosing the Grove because he gets to go first. He has the tempo. He's able to set up the first hold, potentially getting that draw. And getting that draw is huge in this matchup. Starting off with a ramp, it seems like Chava's game plan is just going to be double ramp into the turn 3 Aurora. Hopefully he can do that. Stalwart Poro coming from Nikki. Nikki's game plan versus the more higher end version of the Master Yi deck is trying to be able to set up a double conquer early and trying to ride at 2 points. So funny enough, Chava actually has almost the same exact start as he had last game, where it was a ramp spell, then a what is it called, a Zonia's Hourglass, and then maybe he has a play next turn. But Nikki's really, really looking for another creature, just trying to develop the board. That's the problem here. Sometimes Master Yi has oh, there you go. That's the problem I was just about to talk about. Sometimes Master Yi has all the protection in the world, but not enough creatures. And in these matchups where you're pressured to try to win very quickly, you need these creatures early to try to win the game.
That's really unfortunate that he didn't even have the buff spell that draws him 1 card in order to cycle a bit. He just has to waste his mana here, which versus a Aurora deck, it's not good.
Not good, yeah. Because Nikki definitely won last game because he was able to summon 2 2-drops and was able to conquer both battlefields, basically. Tasty Fae Folk coming down, just trying to be annoying as possible.
Not accelerated. We probably have the Aurora in our hand, unless maybe we might have accelerated in order to kill that Fae Folk. I mean, the Poro. But we know that he had so much mana up that he probably had like a million like battle tricks in his hand. Maybe like
definitely if it's no creature, it's there's battle tricks.
So I like just playing it no
I like this. He's gonna sabotage. Look at the hand. He's basically just trying to figure out one, if he has a Dazzling Aurora, but then now he can summon the Yi, seeing that there's no really a counterplay right here because actually no, there will be, right? Because he can summon the White Flame Protector. Okay. But that's the beauty of Sabotage. You're able to look at your opponent's hand and kind of just try to predict and outmaneuver what they have.
A tiny bit of a mistake here. Sabotage does put the card back into the deck. It recycles it. So the Aurora shouldn't be in the grave. It should be in the deck. It's not like it matters that much in this matchup. But just something to note for the audience here that when you use Sabotage, you take a non-unit card and you recycle it back into the deck.
So Nikki definitely has a lot of pump spells because he either has absolutely a lot or 0 because that one discipline was activated just to basically cycle to draw a card. Probably looking for something more impactful. And here you go. Chava has the White Flame Protector.
It is sad, though, that we lost that Aurora because we would have definitely
Oh, yeah, it would have been a train going down if Chava had that Aurora.
Now we can start using the Grove for ourselves, hopefully, to draw our other Aurora from the deck. We have the Mountain Drake in hand, which at this point, because player 2 hasn't really shown many minions, if we just drop the Drake, we just have a good chance of just plowing through for the rest of the game.
And here we go.
Tasty Fae Folk of his own.
With the Accelerate.
The problem here is attacking into the other Tasty Fae Folk is you have to deal with Mastery's buff for defending, so he has +2 might over you. So you have to use at least 2 battle tricks.
Yeah, I don't think he actually is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep. And he's not going to choose to accelerate it because he's seeing right now he actually just has no option for. There you go.
I think that's fine to not accelerate it. You would have lost a trade anyway. There's no rush to get the point because then the Watcher or the Protector would have just traded in anyway. We really don't want him to bunker down on both battlefields because he's going to get the Mastery passive buff of giving them +2 while defending alone. So it's back in Chava's court, determining what he wants to play. He has full control of this game, full mana open. We know he has 2 big boys in his hand. Nikki only has 1 mana able to use. Determining if we want to actually conquer Valma's lair for now, get the point, and reinforce, or reinforce the. I think you That is correct. You always want to kind of conquer the Valsma layer to put yourself ahead on points. Make the most out of this situation while your opponent doesn't have any creatures. We're going to play the Mountain Drake in the bottom one to reinforce the Tasty.
Yeah, Chava right now is just sensing weakness. There's no, we saw Nikki's hand from the previous sabotage, so we're able to just kind of just build up, and Nikki hasn't been able to, progress his game state. So I don't know what he can do to kind of pull himself out of here.
Yeah, his hand probably would have been great versus like a Kaisa deck, being able to buff his people, trade effectively.
People, look at his hand, do a bunch of other stuff, but right now, this matchup is all about stats on the board, and it's 14-24 to 6.
It's pretty funny that Master Yi decks are just straight up playing Mountain Drakes. Misfortune decks are playing them too. It's just funny. It just does nothing but he's big.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes being big is an effect in itself. It's like semi-ward, like untargetable at that point.
If Nikki can't get some type of board push or damage right now, he might fall 2 behind in order to come back. Remember that Chava also has the Zhonya's Hourglass in the back. So if anything happens to his dragon, either one of them, he can always just pop that Zhonya's Hourglass in order to protect them. We're looking at the field, trying to determine the course for the next couple turns. We have a White Flame Protector of our own in our hand in order to trade. But you do have to remember he has that Zhonya's Hourglass. So if this is all you're doing, he's going to be able to get that card back anyway. Okay, so we're going to get our Tasty Fey Folk. We're going to buff him up. And we're probably going to swing into the White Flame Protector on the top. Swing into the bottom's a little rough because he has more stats than you still. Because it's 16 and 8 to 16 and 10. Or 6 and 8 to 6 and 10. So he has more stats. You have to kill that White Flame Protector with the buff. But he always can just pop that Protector back with the Zhonya's Hourglass. I honestly don't even mind saving the Hourglass and not popping it on our White Flame. Also, Nikki's deciding if I think he has to. He used the White Flame buff on it. He has to go in. We're going to get our Protector back still. Protector 8 might unit. I still think it's crazy that White Flame has 8 might. For such a strong effect, having a strong body like that is absolutely crazy. Wow, that was a fantastic charm. He charmed in the Mountain Drake into the Tasty Fey Folk while it still had the White Flame Protector buff. That's why I was kind of thinking that let your White Flame Protector die. You probably need the Zhonya's Hourglass to save the dragon, the Mountain Drake. But you can't really play around everything. The charm, that was a really, really crazy charm. Getting so much value out of that White Flame, basically attacking both battlefields with the one push of the Tasty. Chava, he has to cling back on here. If he loses his lead now, it might be hard to come back. Because Tasty's holding alone, he will get +2, making him equal to the White Flame. So if we attack with the White Flame, we need to make sure that we have a deny, or we have 2 ways to buff our White Flame, because Nikki has 1 mana open, and that 1 mana can be a buff spell. So if we need 2 buff spells or a deny before we push in here. Aurora would be cool.
Yep, there you go.
Very cool. Going to reinforce the Tasty Fey Folk, And then we're going to trigger our Aurora. Dang,
Dang,
that's
another
a rough
testy
hit.
Fey folk.
I was about to say, I hope the Mountain Drake would have been nice. That's probably the best one. That's the worst one. Man, Chava has to be kind of disappointed with getting the tasty Fey folk off of his
Yeah.
Aurora.
That card normally is just a good card to summon, but in this kind of matchup, in this kind of game, you just always want to summon your high value threats. Only when you're winning do you want to summon, what is it called, the Tasty Fey folks, because they kind of just float.
They're also nice, like pseudo removal, where you just want, a big body to go run into somewhere. The more I'm watching,
White
the
flame
more
into white flame.
he probably has battle tricks, maybe. But he could just be trading for the white flame. I think that's fine. The more I just see the Tasty Fey folk in that Aurora deck, the more I don't like it that much because we've already had like 2 hits of Tasty Fey folk when you want that initial hit to like put you back in the game.
Yeah.
You can't have it be a Fey folk. You can't summon a 9-mana Fey folk.
Yeah. It's not even accelerated or anything. All right, here you go, the discipline. So right now, it's not even going to be a trade. Well, it is going to be a trade, but it's going to be for the Tasty Fey folk. And I don't know if that's really what you want to do because you just want to try to get rid of as many stats as possible because the Fey folk can be answered by a lot of cards in your deck without having to use any other card. But the White Flame Protector needs another card in tandem, or you just have to trade with the White Flame Protector itself.
I feel like Nikki wouldn't attack in like that if he did not have buffs in his hands. Yeah, the on guards, that he's going to equal it. On guard gives it +1 might if it's attacking or defending alone, plus another might. Or if it's in that area alone. Okay, we're just going to trade for the white flame. What do we do now? Because that Tasty Fey folk does have 8 might because it is defending alone now. So there's not too many cards we can use right now in order to get in there. We have a Debloom straight in our hand, but I still think that it's fine to just tempo out a bunch of smaller cards and then later on drop that Fey folk. So let's just give him the point, the whole point for his Tasty. Let's try to just stack our back row right now with a couple of small guys. Get ready to go. I saw him looking at the Debloom in his hand, and he wanted to put it into the Tasty, but then he forgot that, well, didn't forget, but just thought about, man, how unfortunate that it's a Master E player, and that Tasty Fey folk is just as big as my Debloom.
Yeah.
Okay, it's time for Chava to really, put the,
Pedal to the metal, trying to
pedal to
find.
metal, nail in the coffin, solidify this game for himself.
Mm-hmm. The good thing is now it seems like every hit off of what is it called? Off of Dazzling Aurora will probably be an A1 hit.
If he gets another Tasty Fey folk, I'm going to cry. Or is the third one in his grave? I forgot, honestly. But if it's still in his deck and he draws it right now, it's going to be sad.
Just to draw a card. Another just to draw a card. He's really looking for something.
He had the other Tasty in his hand. No, he moved that Tasty up. For some reason, I thought he played it. So he's moving his Tasty up to put them together in order to really hunker down on the battlefield. Chava is up on point, so if he's able to just kind of hold that battlefield, it'll be really good. But what he doesn't know is that Nikki has the Deadloop Predator in his hand. This is going to be the same problem that Nikki had, that if you cannot plop that Deadloop Predator into the Tasty.
Yeah, it might just be in base because this is going to be a trade.
I wouldn't even mind putting the Deadloop with the other Tasties.
Yeah, to basically guarantee that you will be able to hold that battlefield.
Imagine if he didn't get his first Aurora Ripped.
Oh, yeah, this game would have been a little too crazy.
Now the problem becomes, how does Nikki want to trade here? He has the Deadloom in his hand. He has 3 2-might people in the back row. One of them is at 3-might because it has a buff. We have a Charm in hand. The Charm is pretty nice.
Charm actually is really strong, huh? Because it's able to clear up the bottom battlefield.
We can even kill the Deadloom in the back. Slam it into our Tasty. There's a bunch of ways that you can clear this battlefield here. So he's going to play his Master Yi. A cool way to get around this would be to trade your little tiny 3-drops for a Fey Folk, and then charm the other Fey Folk into your Fey Folk because you have the defender buff with Yi, and then your Yi's ready and make your Yi go into the Grove. That way you don't have to deal with their Yi's defender buff for the entire turn.
And leaving just the 6-drop, 6 might and 8 might onto the battlefields just by themselves is really strong, because now it just makes it to where Chava's Deadloom Predators are at worst going to trade. At best going to trade. Okay, here we go.
I feel like that's what he's doing. He's going into trade with the Tasty. But we have mana and battle tricks of our own.
Oh, a challenge for the Tasty Faithful. Ooh.
That's strange. Oh, because it's not defending alone. So it's still at 6. This totally ruins his entire plan of charming. But he can still get that Master Yi in there and then charm anyway, so it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
But I do like that he popped that card really quick. So his Death Knell. I'm not quite sure I like popping the removal option right away, but he still has 2 mana up, so he probably has another trick in his back pocket. Taking 1 Tasty for those. That's what we just talked about happening. I do like that. And then you can attack up with the Master Yi, and then you can charm in the Deadloom or something in order to fight. You're so low on mana, though, which is just very unfortunate because your opponent has 2 mana. If Chava has a deny or a buff of his own, it's just going to destroy that Yi.
Over at this point. Because the thing about it is Chava just needs to make plays to not lose the game on the spot. Because every turn that this Dazzling Roar is on the field is just a ticking time bomb.
I do think we're going top here and then charming with the defender buff.
What do you think he's going to take? I think he's going to take the Tasty Fey Folk.
I think the Deadloom, because the Deadloom...
Just for the trade? Okay. Or is it a win?
He gets buffed.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
He's just trying to say, like, you need to have the buff. Oh, he has the deny, so he's denying the charm. Dang, that's really bad. Because we did commit our Master Yi into that zone now. So if on the following turn we have some type of buff for our Devlin Predator or way to deal with Master Yi. Draw 2 cards, 1 off the Grove.
Chava's drawn 2 cards off of this Grove already.
Yeah, Grove is one of my favorite battlefields for sure. Zonya's Hourglass.
Really strong, really
Cool.
strong. In these matchups where we're just trying to trade stats for stats, Zonya's basically pushes back and lets you save a card, but then they still lose their card.
We're just going to go in here, trade with his Master Yi, and then we're just going to pop our Hourglass. We do get the Battle Trick out right here. Let's see, we have a lot of mana up, so we have stuff to do. What are we going to do? We're going to deny, another deny, having 2 denies in his hand, completely shutting down what Nikki wants to do. With that second deny, we're just going to scoop it up. So Chava got the win.
Yeah.
Denied the charm, denied the battle buff.
Mm-hmm.
What can you do when your opponent's good like that?
Yep. Deny showing its power when you're up. It definitely keeps you in there.
Deny being 1 mana is so unfair, but it does have the restriction where you can play around it knowing that your deck has spells that are more than 4, more than 1 power pip. But honestly, you have to run low power spells in your deck. All decks do. So being able to just have deny and say, yeah, no, you can't do that, is so powerful. So even game here, going into our game 3.
All right. Always kind of just wonder what kind of battlefields they're going to go ahead and do next. Nikki himself might definitely do Grove of the God Willow because he gets to go first. It really depends on what the Master Yi wants to do.
I think last game was Nikki's Grove.
No, I'm pretty sure that was Chava's Grove because Nikki had
Nikki had Valmar.
Mal's game 1.
He had Valmar game 1, and then Chava had Valmar game 2.
Game 2. Okay, got you.
Yeah, it was confusing because you normally want Grove as you go first.
As you go first,
but he just assumed that it's Aurora Master Yi, so like I'll Grove up right now. He just tried to like win real quick, which maybe it's going to come back to bite him because now he won't have the Grove.
All right, Obelisk of Power, starting off with extra mana.
It's nice, but it's nicer
spooky
for Chava.
It's spooky for versus the Dazzling Aurora deck.
Let's see what player 1's battlefield is for going second here. Obelisk of Power. Wow. That is so
Double Obelisk of Power.
That is so good
Chava
for the Aurora
basically
player, man.
got a free ramp.
Yeah, that is so good. And if he's going second, what is he? He's starting on 5?
Starting on 5, going to 7-9. That's going to be a turn 3 Aurora.
Wow.
Without any help.
I think Nikki maybe did the Grove because he didn't want to Obelisk of Power.
It was just hoping to win that game right there and then.
Yeah. That's so unfortunate, though. Yeah, turn 3, that's so wild. Do you just, like, get rid of your whole hand and try to get Aurora?
Yeah, try to draw into Aurora as much as possible. Now it's up to Nikki to basically draw Sabotage the turn before Aurora comes down.
Looks like he has a deny in his hand. I don't see a Sabotage, though.
3, you go to 4, Nikki. So what Nikki probably wants to do here is double 2-drop here. If he can,
1-2 drop. Man. This is when he just has another ramp spell. You don't need it, but for funsies. Yeah, you don't need another ramp spell. Just use the Hourglass.
All right. So what's unfortunate here is because we know Nikki didn't have 2 2-drops, is probably not going to be a double progression of his board here. It's probably just going to be one creature, if any, honestly. Because
did he just pass?
that's what happened last game.
Okay.
Perfect.
Oof, I thought he passed.
I was scared for Nikki. He needs to summon a creature every turn, basically, to just try to leverage Chava not being able to do stuff for the first 2 turns.
Man, that is not what you want to see as Nikki. Being able to draw and ramp is cool, but we're already pretty ramped, and Massey Aurora is ultra ramped.
You know, here would be a great time to summon a Tasty Fey Folk, just to clear up, what is it called? A bunch of these monsters, have a bunch of might on board. But honestly, here, passing for Chava is also just fine because we know that next turn, if he has Dazzling Aurora, it's going to be lit.
But you just need the Sabotage.
Yeah.
Did he draw off the clock? I think he should have drew off the clock if he didn't have Sabotage.
Sabotage already, yeah.
Okay, so right. Chava's just passing. He probably has Aurora in his hands.
All right, show the Sabotage.
You need it now or literally never.
Now, if he had Sabotage, he would...
I think he could have waited. He could have did it now because there's never a threat. So might as well wait for him to draw all the cards.
Now, I was going to say if he moves it back, then he probably doesn't have Sabotage because...
Tasty. He's leaving us on pins and
still
needles. If he has a Sabotage, he can still play it. Oh.
Nope. Yep.
Man, did we just ultra ramp our opponent into a turn 3 Aurora?
Here we go. Slam it down. Chava.
Doesn't matter. He's going to slam it down and get a Tasty Feyfolk off it anyway.
But honestly, right now, that's not even that bad because Nikki has not been pressuring the board.
My gosh.
And here we go. And if there's ever a time to get a Tasty Feyfolk, it is now for Nikki.
This is when he, all those Tasty Feyfolks, he's finally going to do a Mountain Drake right now.
Ooh, right there.
Mountain Drake.
Mountain Drake was needed. And right here, it gets worse and worse. Chava is just putting more stats onto the board.
I really don't see how Chava loses this game from this position, getting a turn 3 Mountain Drake. That's just wild. We have a Charm in our hand.
An On Guard.
An On Guard, a Deny. So we have a lot of interaction, but what are you interacting with? He just has big boys.
Yeah.
Can't deny a big boy.
Normally, with all these, like, middling, cheap cards that Massey plays, it wants to be up or at least have parity with the opponent. But right now, this Dazzling Aurora is just a little too much. All these little +1s, +2 power might not do anything to just 27 stats just being on the board.
Also, us having the Hourglass in the back to save the Mountain Drake, man. You could just pull the 2-drop back. It's just going to die. If he pulls the 2-drop back, he should pull the Feyfo back as well. I think a double pullback would be nice here because the Feyfolk's just going to die. He does have the On Guard to buff the Tasty Feyfolk, and it has the +2 defender. So it would tie versus the Mountain Drake, which is cool because you get the ramp a little bit, and then he has to pop his own use Hourglass. But it's not necessarily... I think it's okay, I guess, because he has the deny, so if Chava has any buff spell, he'll deny the buff spell and use a buff spell of his own, except if Chava has his own deny. We're just going to avoid all that and go to the top here anyway. Okay, he's deciding. Maybe he does want to go and trade for the Feyfolk, pop his Zonya's Hourglass. Nope, he just wants to go to the top, save the the Hourglass for later. Get our first point on the board with our big Mountain Drake. We have... Oh, my gosh.
A second Dazzling Aurora.
Turn 3 Aurora, turn 4 Aurora.
And now it's on Nikki to really just try to find answers to this board.
I've never seen something more broken in my life.
Yeah, this double obelisk of power start definitely helping Chava out.
Yeah, Feyfolk. At this point, everything is gravy. Feyfolks, who cares? You're getting too much. You get 2 Fey folks right now, and who cares?
Chava's entire game plan now is basically just try not to lose. But yeah, the Zonia's honestly saving any of these units and him just trading sounds great. Oh, Dead Bloom Predator is going to eat.
Don't necessarily
can't eat up the actual Tasty Fey Folk because of
Yeah.
the Master Yi buff.
And base is cool. Fine.
Okay, we got
full
16
mana.
showing on Chava's
All
board.
the mana. Sabotage.
There's the sabotage.
Too late.
Ooh.
The deny and the charm. Honestly, I kind of like denying
The
the sabotage to hide the charm. Because, like, what's he going to... He's going to rip the deny and know about the charm, or rip the charm and play around the deny. So denying the sabotage lets you have a secret charm. He ripped the deny anyway, so it's fine. He just needs to know to play around the charm. So it is time in the round. So it is in Riftbound. When there is time in the round, you get a 5-turn clock that starts at 0. Whatever player's turn it is, it's turn 0. When you pass, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and after the 5th turn, whoever has more points wins that game, and whoever has more games in the match wins the match. Maybe Nikki can still get it. He is going to be able to be up on points, but Chava has 3 more turns in order to get down his Aurora pieces. If he had more time in the round, this game would definitely be his, but Nikki can play this to his advantage and maybe squeeze out a win here by, like,
by the nape of his neck.
by the hairs on his chin. I didn't want to say it, but I did.
Yep, you're good. All right, maybe he's just trying to reinforce the top section here. Oh, not reinforce, but he's going to go Yi into it. Try to trade with the Fey Folk. Yep.
Okay.
Fey Folk gets saved here. Death Knell does not get triggered because technically it did not die. Here we go. Charm.
Yeah, because the hourglass is not hitting, you can't choose what it's going to protect. We're going to charm and we're going to on guard. Honestly, we have so much Aurora power, but this mid-range power from Nikki might be able to win in time. Because we're on turn 2 here. Chava has 1 more turn after this in order to solidify his victory. So he has to push off this Fey Folk and get a point.
But then the thing about it is he has the White Flame Protector, you know what I mean? So it's able to just push through the Fey Folk into the Fey Folk with the White Flame and then double reinforce.
Did we see that Chava had a
Yeah, he had a White Flame off
flame?
of the sabotage.
True. Yeah, you're right. So yeah, you play the White Flame in the top. Buff it.
Swing in.
Trade in here. And then you just reinforce with all of your...
Yeah, and it really doesn't matter what he gets off the Aurora at this point because we're not looking. We're already up. We're just trying to make sure we have the most amount of stats onto each battlefield.
Mm-hmm. Does he have any more minions to play? No, we're just going to end in Aurora, which is cool. Just no more Fey folks, please. I can't take it.
There you go. The
Nice.
dragon onto the Fey Folk board, getting
Yeah.
to 16 might here.
Oh my god.
But it's perfectly fine here. We're just trying to reinforce the board.
The Scourge of the Fey Folk.
Yeah.
Because he had Dead Blooms and more White Flames in there.
Yeah.
But he hit the one Fey Folk. If Chava can double hold here, he'll be able to take the game. But if he loses the battlefields, he might just lose. Nikki has a lot of people, but there's no like AoE Anthem buffs in this Master Yi deck. He's just relying on single target buffs. The Master Yi defending buff by 2 is down, but once Nikki goes in and clears minions, then he'll be able to get those buffs again. Oh, so we're going to charm. Denied the charm.
He has a Rune Prison in hand, so that's able to get one big guy out. But honestly, what does he have? 2, 4. Yeah, he doesn't even have 10 stats. It doesn't even match a single, what is it called? Dragon.
Yeah, he literally passed back. He passed back and did nothing.
Yep, it looks like Chava already got it. Dead Bloom, reinforce that. One more time. Tasty Fey Folk, get another one out there.
Oh my god.
18 worth of stats, Tasty Fey Folk, love it in here. I don't know what he could potentially draw. And there you go,
GG.
Chava got it.
Well, it's hard to lose when you
With
get turn
double
3
Aurora,
Aurora
yeah.
and turn 4 Aurora.
Yeah.
But he did play really well, even, you could lose if you played terribly, but he knows what he's doing with his deck. He got the Aurora down. So, yeah.